Good morning, YouTube. So we are about 50 days out. So we're going to call this the 7-week out episode. So I'm going to show you what I do this Friday, and we're going to start off this morning with a workout. But first, got to get a little update over the coach. We're doing more than one check-in per week right now. We're doing 2. So let's see where we're at. And I'm going to do this a little bit different than I have in previous videos. So wait till you see my progress update, and excited to show you guys along the journey today. And we have a really fun activity planned. We have some work, of course. Being an entrepreneur, it's hard to get away from work completely, but love what I do. And yeah, looking forward for you guys following along. Welcome back to another episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already.
Okay.
Alrighty, so we are 202.4. So I believe my lowest was 202.8. I'm gonna have to check on that, but honestly feel leaner. So right now, like, I've had some really good weeks and my weight's like not dropping super fast because of my training performance is staying super high. But I know that during peak week, I always lose about like 5 pounds, and I know we're probably gonna raise cardio a little bit higher, and we're also gonna bring down food even more. So honestly, for being where I am, about 50 days out, we're really happy with this weight, because I'm maintaining all the muscle and just leaning out pretty fast. I mean, when I was just filming that video, I'm like, wow, I see some insane lines in my midsection that I didn't see even like a week ago. So we're on track, guys, and getting better each and every day. I'm feeling like it's a day for my bagel pre-workout. Just kidding. So I'm actually in the mood for some cream of rice. I think cream of rice is going to digest a little bit easier. And since I have a pretty packed morning, I'm going to probably go to the gym in about 45 minutes. Normally like to wait a little bit over an hour after I eat, but we're going to do some cream of rice this morning for the pre-workout. First meal of the day. And then we got this big protein selection. So I have plenty of options to choose from, plenty of flavors. Some raw nutrition, that's laney stuff, and then some cage stuff as well. So I'll show you guys what I make, but let me whip it up quick. Here's the pre-workout meal. We have 50 grams of cream of rice, 1.5 scoops of protein powder, and then we got some almond butter, about like 12 grams of almond butter. Then we got some cinnamon and some salt. Well, guys, over under on how long it took me to eat that meal. I swear, like when I'm on prep, I literally can just pound food. Like, I'm just really hungry, and I eat like even faster than I normally do, which if you know me in person, you know I'm an extremely fast eater. One of my friends growing up, his dad used to call me the vacuum, because he's like, literally, like, you eat so fast, it's like the food's there and then it just like poof, it's gone. All right, little fit check for the gym. So we got these awesome French Terry Jed North shorts. I love them. They make my quads look really good. And then from here, we got this Jed North oversized long sleeve tee. So just super comfortable, great to wear to the gym. And then underneath, you guys will see my tank a little bit more, but it's a Jed North gradient print. So love Jed North apparel. You guys know my 2 favorite gym clothing brands are going to be Jed North and also TLF apparel. So those are both of my sponsors. Love their stuff. They always hook me up, and great quality, great fit. Especially Jed North when it comes to bodybuilding. Like, look at this. These 5-inch shorts, I believe they're 5-inch. I love them because you can like see your quad teardrop when you're wearing them. So even if you're not training legs, it still looks like you train legs. But anyways, if you guys are in the US or Canada, you guys can use my code Alex15 for a discount on all your Jed North apparel. All right, guys, we just pulled up to Elevation Fitness. So this is where we're training today. This is also my second gym membership. So as you guys seen, I love Wolf Gym. That's my favorite gym right now. And not gonna lie, I'm a gym hopper. I definitely switch gyms pretty often. I mean, I've gone to like 4 different gyms here in Boca. But right now I just have Elevation and also Wolf Boca, right? And they're both great gyms, well equipped. They're bodybuilding style gyms, so they have like a lot of really cool pieces of equipment. This gym in particular, there's just a couple things I don't like about it. It's still a great gym overall. Like they have Panada, which is like the Ferrari of gym equipment I talked about in my video when I was hanging out with my coach David in Atlanta. But one thing I just don't like about this gym is there's just not as much energy as Wolf Gym. Like Wolf Gym just busier, and I don't like a gym like, to be honest, like way too busy where you can't get equipment. But I like gym where there are a good amount of people working out, just because I find it to be a little bit more of a motivating environment. And especially at Wolf, like people are working their ass off to get in shape. So that's really the only thing I don't like. They do have an awesome posing room here. They do have great equipment. So I just find value in keeping this membership too, because it gives me kind of a change of scenery, which can be nice along a prep from time to time. And then, you know, it's still a great place. And, you know, I was going here, you know, consistently for almost like, you know, 4 out of 5 workouts per week for about a year straight. They only opened about a year and a half ago, but Elevation is one of the nicest like bodybuilding gym chains out of Miami. So they started down to Miami. They've expanded, I think, to Vegas. I think they have a New York location. They moved up north a little bit to Boca. So definitely a cool facility. I'll show you guys around, and make sure to follow along with this workout tutorial because I'm going to be going through everything. So I'll probably just film the clips raw and then do a little voiceover about the workout in the editing phase. So looking forward to taking you guys through my Friday chest and shoulders routine, and we're gonna get a nasty pump and we're gonna do some posing at the very end. So I'll see you guys inside. Peep the side skirts. So just got this piece on my car, and very subtle, but I think it adds a lot of dimensionality to the side of the M3. And so really love these. Originally got them in the mail and they were cracked, so the company sent me a brand new pair. But yeah, little change, but I think it makes a big change. All right, guys, so we started off here on the lever pec deck flies. So this is one of my favorite movements to use for pre-activation. I just find it's amazing to get a chest squeeze and can get a really nice pump going. And so, you know, when it comes to warm-ups, typically I'm not trying to push more than like 80 to 85% max intensity. As you can see here, I'm really focused on keeping my shoulders back, getting a super deep stretch in my chest, and then getting a super hard squeeze. I always joke around that when you're doing any sort of fly movement, you want to bring your two pecs together as hard as possible, which the way that you do that is by pressing your inner and upper bicep against the side of your chest, right? And you're trying to squeeze your inner chest so hard that you could swipe a credit card down the middle. Then from there, we went to this this lying, you know, Panada chest press, and it was a great movement. Really liked these. So second movement, right? I was kind of using this as like the main compound movement for the day. So here was just a warm-up set, 2 plates. You can see I'm not really doing any sort of like super slow eccentrics, anything like that. I would consider this more of like normal tempo. It's still very controlled, but nothing too crazy when it comes to this tempo. So here was just, you know, banging out the set. Still, you know, decent proximity to failure, or actually here I took it all the way to failure. So that's called mechanical failure, because mechanical failure is when you get to a point where you can't do any more reps that are solid with good form. And so as you can see there, I attempted another rep and just couldn't get it. Here, took the pump cover off, was just feeling a little bit more pumped up. Went up in weight. As you can see, I was just doing 2 plates per side last set. And this set, I was trying to push even harder. So let's see this rep right here. Yeah, can I get it? Can I get it? No. So couldn't get that one, but hey, it's the effort that counts. So that's the next movement I went to. Then from there, I went to the lever incline press. So love incline presses. Before every set, like to just collect myself, get my mind right, and focus on what the mission is, right? So I like to use visualization before I even do a set. So here, once again, you know, focused on a slow tempo. So I would say it's about 1.5, 2 seconds on the way down, just looking back at this footage. But as you can see here, now that I'm wearing a stringer and from this angle, that I'm really getting a nice deep stretch in my chest once again. And then from there, really trying to focus on a 1 to 1.5 second squeeze at the peak contraction point, which is at the very top of the movement when you can see my pecs are fully shortened. So throw in some partials here to just kind of extend the set, increase the time under tension, and just push myself a little bit further. After this movement, wanted to just kind of get a little check of where I was at pump wise. So I had a pretty solid pump going. I wouldn't say this is like my best chest workout of prep, but it was a really, really good one. Was looking full considering I'm not eating nearly as many carbs, about half the amount of carbs that I was eating when I was bulking. So then from here, wanted to throw in some shoulders, right? Because it's a chest and shoulders workout, not just chest. So I love this machine right here. I believe it's Gemlico, which is a Swedish company, I want to say. But really like this shoulder press and was focusing on just really, really controlled reps. As you can see, everything that I like to do in the gym, if you can't tell, is very calculated in terms of, making sure my tempo is good. I'm targeting the muscle that I'm trying to target, and that I'm taking things, really, really close to failure for just about every single set. Besides some feeder sets leading up to my top sets, but for every movement, I'm typically going to have like 1 to 2 top sets. Then from there, we went into seated face pulls. So, yep, seated face pulls right here. Really love this movement. Was super happy when I was looking back at this footage. I'm like, wow, I can see a ton of definition here in my rear delts, right? My traps, my back a little bit, right? But for this movement, I'm primarily doing it for my rear delts, right? So that's just something I want to note here. Whenever I do this on a chest and shoulder day, it's more for my rear delts. So I was really trying to focus on squeezing my rear delts more than anything. I'm just super lean right now, so that's why you can see, a lot more than my rear delts. I mean, definitely getting some traps involved, but primarily traps and rear delts are what I was going to be focusing on here with the face pulls. And I personally prefer, using a attachment like this versus a rope most of the time. Not to say that I don't ever use the rope. Then my favorite shoulder exercise, and this has been a favorite of mine for a long time, is the standing lateral raise. If your gym doesn't have this, you can kind of do a makeshift setup with a cable machine, right? So you don't necessarily need this fancy piece of equipment. But big thing here is focus on driving your elbows up because there's actually a bone called the humerus. It extends from your shoulder joint down to your elbow joint. And that's what's going to help to contract by raising your humerus. It's going to, by default, shorten your lateral delt. So that's what I was focusing on here with this movement. I see a lot of people just overdo the range of motion. Also, you can see here I'm throwing in some partials, but really just trying to blow up those lateral delts because they cap your physique really, really nicely. Super important for men's physique. Then from here, I went to some front raises with a easy bar. And so one mistake I see here commonly is that people either like lean back way too far, use a ton of momentum, or another mistake is they don't control the eccentric at all. And so I try to control the eccentric as much as possible and wasn't really going super heavy here. I can't see from the side what I was doing, but I want to say it was like maybe 45 pounds. So nothing crazy. But you can really see the definition and the striation in my front delt. So I'm doing this towards the end, right? It's okay to speed up the reps a little bit. I was doing some partials at the end, really just trying to push the muscle closer to failure as much as I possibly could. So great exercise. Love throwing those in for front delts. Actually don't do a ton of front delt work. Starting to get into a little bit more. But then from there, we wanted to finish off with some triceps, right? And so right here, I'm doing overhead tricep extension. And so it wasn't going like crazy, crazy heavy, but wanted to make sure I was getting, full extension of the triceps. So my triceps fully lengthened. Guys, the eccentric, I can't express how important it is for hypertrophy training, trying to build muscle. You have to make sure you're not cheating yourself when it comes to the range of motion. So here, took it to failure. Like I said, wasn't super heavy, but at this point in the workout with the chest and shoulder movements we already done, my triceps were pretty fried. Then from there, wanted to throw in a movement for a finisher that I don't normally really do a whole lot, but still do think it's a great movement, and that's going to be cable, single arm, tricep kickbacks, right? So big thing here is trying to minimize how much your elbow is moving, and that really goes for like all arm movements, but making sure that my elbow doesn't really move a lot, and the function of the tricep is to extend your arm at the elbow, right? So I was trying to make sure my elbow stays in place, and I was just focusing on trying to extend my arm and straighten my arm through the elbow, because as you can see here, right, there is my tricep is definitely, you can see the definition. I mean, when it does get super pumped, right, sometimes all the blood flow to the tricep decreases what you can see. But all in all, that was the workout. So now let's go into the posing. Here was just kind of showing the posing so you can seeing a lot of striations, looking pretty full, which I'm really happy about that stage in prep. I've been leaning out super nicely, but still am retaining just about all my muscle, if not maybe even building a little bit of muscle.
We're gonna be using Melinda's black truffle sauce, and if you can't tell by the size of this jug, Lainey and I love this sauce. Really, really good. Tastes phenomenal on steak, chicken, just about everything, turkey. It's one of my favorite sauces, and we were buying like the small bottles for a while, and it was like $6 a bottle. I'm like, why don't we just buy this one? It's like literally like 6 times the size, and it's only like I think it was like 20 or 24 bucks from the Melinda's website. So shout out to Melinda's hot sauces. You guys are the best. Definitely help me stay on track with my prep with your low calorie sauces and all that. So if you haven't checked out Melinda's Foods, Walmart's will sell them sometimes, so that's a good place to check. But these sauces are banging. Before we head out, having another meal, and then I have one more meal when I get home. But this is what I normally do. Sometimes I'll bring a meal with me, but we're not going to be out for like crazy long. We'll probably be out for a couple hours. So eating this meal quick, I'm having some oats, 2 eggs, some almond butter, and yes, 1 scoop of protein powder too, of course. Can't forget the protein, right? John Luke, say what's up to the vlog.
What's up? What's up?
This is the special guest I was talking about earlier. This is my boy John Luke. So we met like what, 2 years ago?
About 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, actually at a kava bar, and since then become really good friends. We're about to hit up the Palm Beach Boat Show, which I've never been. I'm excited to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be dope. I'm gonna get some nice footage of us on the boats, and we're just building the vision, right? I feel like when you go to events like this, it just makes you think like more is possible for your life.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you know,
something to reach towards.
yeah. Whether it's a car show or whether it's a boat show, right? Dream big. And I'm a firm believer that you can manifest things. So we're gonna go look at some good boats and just have fun. First time in a circuit, so it's like a little how would you describe it? It's like almost like an enclosed golf cart.
Like a little enclosed golf cart.
Yeah, and
cruises around with.
Yeah, the parking's insane for the boat show. It should be a good turnout today, Friday too. I think a lot of people are probably off work. It should be busy. So we're on the way there right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Wow, look at how classic this boat looks. That looks so sick. Nice wooden hull. I really like that.
Right?
A little kitchen over here.
A little galley.
Could do my meal prep here.
Yeah.
So I just got back from the West Palm Beach boat show a couple hours ago. Got some work done, so I had some client programs to write, and Lainey and I are gonna have a fun date night tonight. So we're dressing up a little. I'm still wearing the same thing as I was earlier because I was dressed up for the boat show. But we're gonna go on a little date night and kind of show you guys what we do, because date night does not always need to be food. It doesn't always need to be drinking. In fact, we're gonna do neither, but we're gonna have a good time and vibe and probably meet up with some friends later as well, potentially. But that being said, one thing that I think I've gotten a lot better with as I have progressed in my bodybuilding career is realizing that I don't need to shut down life just because I'm on prep. Because when I first started bodybuilding, I would say no to all plans. A date night, I probably wouldn't really entertain it, but there's so many things that you can do that are fun without involving food and alcohol and everything. So I think a lot of times our society, we just think like, all right, like, you know, all right, it's Friday night, let's go out and drink. Or it's Friday night, we have to go out to dinner. But it's like, there's other things you can do, especially with your significant other, that's going to be fun, that is still gonna allow you to stay on track with your fitness goals. So I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna do. And it's gonna be pretty low key, to be honest, it's nothing crazy. But that being said, I'm really excited to spend some quality time with my babe. Little fit check for a night out, little date night. Damn, I love your new outfit, babe.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so might have dropped the ball on filming the rest of the date night, but Lainey and I just went to a kava bar and just hung out. So kava, you know, is a natural herb, and it's something that Lainey and I like to drink because it helps with, you know, there's different types, and they serve a variety of different like teas at these bars, but they're non-alcoholic, and you can also get sugar-free options. So it's a little bit more prep friendly, but we just had some great conversation with people. We were only there for a little bit, and then I was getting tired, so we went home. But yeah, that's what we ended up doing. It was nothing crazy, I will say. We did see some friends, did hang out with some friends. I did play some pool. I love playing pool. Like when I buy a house, like one of the first things I'm gonna be getting is a pool table. Just because I love them so much. And I grew up playing pool. My dad used to whip my ass all the time until the apprentice became the master. So this is gonna conclude the 7 weeks out vlog. I appreciate you watching. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments about my prep, about my lifestyle, about anything that I really did. But I hope you guys enjoyed that footage of that $5 million boat. It was pretty insane. And I was like, wow. And the craziest part is that the person bought it for like $7 million about a year ago, only used it a couple times. The guy who was touring, giving us a tour, told us, and they're gonna like literally lose like $2 million by selling it like about a year later. Hardly have ever used it. So it's pretty insane. But yeah, that's the cool part about this area is like there's so many events in South Florida that you can do, that you can go to, right, and experience. And it's just awesome to be around such an environment, because before, when I lived in a small town, I'm from Pennsylvania originally, like I just felt like there wasn't a huge growth mindset, right? People weren't really hustling to chase their dreams, and moving down to South Florida was like the best thing for me because it's the perfect environment for my type of ambition. And so choose your environment wisely, guys, and that goes beyond just where you live. It goes, you know, with like, who do you hang out with? What do you do, right? How do you use your weekends? Are you out partying, getting drunk all the time? Are you like actually, you know, trying to like make connections, meet people, network, and stay a little bit more sober so you can be more productive, right? So choose your environment wisely, but don't regret it all moving down to South Florida, because it was literally one of the best decisions I've ever made. And like I said, this area inspires me on a daily basis. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day and make every day a PR. Signing off, Coach Alex. Peace.